Hello, I'm Mark.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Patrick.
And today we're going to talk about U.S. sales and what happened in the world of Tesla. But first, we're going to roll that title.
You're watching the Tesla Life Express. Oh no!
What is that? You're going to bring in sad trombone at the beginning of the segment? Oh, Casey's playing a trick on his people. He's got that cool audio board in front of him, and he can't prevent himself from pressing many buttons. Thanks so much for the sad trombone.
Not for us. We're talking about all the people complaining. Oh, it went down 1% for the year. It's terrible. The world is ending 1%, 1.4567%. Oh my goodness. What am I going to do with my life?
Oh, my goodness. You're going to complain on X. That's what you're going to do. But beyond that, I wanted to talk a little bit about U.S. sales numbers. Yes, overall, Tesla went down that 1-point-something% over a year. And no, the world is not going to collapse because of it. We're going to come back. We'll get over 2 million cars at some point. It may not be 2025, like we've tried this now 3 times, but it may be another year. But again, Tesla is in great financial standing. They've got tons of money in the bank. They got no problem financing whatever they want to do. And hopefully they're going to bring a little bit of a cheaper car to market soon. But looking back at last year, 2024, we had some information about total car sales, and we thought we would share that information about the U.S. auto market. So let's just share this tab, and we can see here that the title of this is that Tesla sold the next 2 EV maker competitors 3-1 within the United States in 2024.
Combined.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So Tesla sold in the U.S. Over 633,000 units in 2024. And they were comparing the sales of General Motors and Ford, which were 112,000 plus and 97,000 plus EVs respectively. And of course, add those two together and Tesla tripled it. So no big deal when it comes to Tesla, again, dominating the EV market in the United States, as well as Canada, as well as Mexico. This is not a surprise across any of those countries. That seems to be what has been happening for some time now. So they're still maintaining quite a position out front. And again, We've known this for some time, that those other EV players, they're just not building the vehicles quick enough, or they're having difficulty competing with Tesla dollar for dollar, feature for feature, as to what they're submitting to people to buy. When people compare, they're picking Tesla many more times, again, over 3-1 in this particular example here. And that has been going on for quite some time.
The nice thing to see, though, is if you look at the list of vehicles, we've got the Mustang Mach-E at almost 52,000, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 at 44,000. So they're finally getting these vehicles up to a level that they can be high volume. That's going to help bring down their costs. One of the reasons that the non-Tesla automakers are reluctant to put too much resources into EVs is that they're not profitable vehicles for them. But now they are getting to a level where they are profitable, and that's great to see. And I was surprised to see Honda on the list at all. So that was an interesting addition.
And I'm surprised to see that Honda is outselling General Motors with their own car.
Right. So the Honda's on here with the Prologue, and what Casey's alluding to is 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 it okay? Yeah, I'm just looking at the top 10 list, and I only see them on there once with the Honda Prologue, which is something that is actually made. It's the Blazer. Is
Yes.
that right? The Chevy Blazer rebadged for Honda, and so it's outselling the Chevy Blazer EV.
In fact, the Blazer's not even on the top 10 list, but the Prologue is.
And the
Yeah.
Equinox is the smaller one. Wow.
And that's something that it's kind of interesting. Honda, again, got in late on the EV game, and they've partnered up with GM and others to kind of kickstart their EV run. But I know that their engineers are working on something new, and maybe these 33,000 sales in 2024 will be some extra incentive for them to build a better vehicle, a newer vehicle, maybe a couple of different vehicles.
Right. It gives them a lot of market data without them doing all the work of making their own vehicle, right? So now they're going to say, okay, this is what sells in this market and here's where we should launch our new vehicle. So they can get a lot of good information by buying and rebadging.
Exactly.
And they're not strangers to EVs. This is just a practical shortcut for them. Remember, they had EVs down in the EV1, S10, Toyota RAV4, and did I miss one? The Nissan thing. So there were EVs back in the early moderns of the late 90s, and then don't forget also that the Honda Clarity and the FCX Clarity, the high ones are also electric cars. They just have extra steps, so they're not completely inept. But this was a really solid shortcut for them. They found something that already had passed all of its market tests, its crash testing, and all they had to do was just pick a different interior trim, and they call it a day, put their name on it, and then this gives them an extra 6 years to get their own clean sheet ready.
Yeah, and that's why Honda has probably signed up with GM, because this allowed them to get something on the road this year. It allowed them to start collecting some EV credits. It allowed them to start getting, as Patrick mentioned, some market data based on what their customers think of EVs, and if it's something that they should be more serious about it. Because of their slow start, it allowed them to jumpstart into the field and start collecting some meaningful data.
Yeah, they didn't have to lay any telephone poles. They just put out a couple of cell towers, and
that's
right.
Good analogy. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So the next question with that one is going to be that remember, Tesla did start out supplying other manufacturers as a part supplier, Tier 1. Could somebody rebadge a Model 3 or a Model Y and just call it their car? Just add in all the million buttons?
Interesting. I don't think so, because Tesla did that when they had to. When they became a battery supplier for Daimler, and that it got a big investment, and
just like the Rev.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it went into an existing smart car, right? But anyway, Tesla was not in the same position they are now, where they're flush with cash. They were doing that to keep the doors open because they had to. So I don't know if it would be really interesting, because we've heard about the idea of Tesla licensing FSD to other car companies later. And if it's a Tesla vehicle, then just rebadged and with different paint options or something, then that makes it a whole lot easier for FSD to transfer to that fleet.
Because it's already native, but he was saying as long as the cameras are you get enough of them in the right positions, that you can put it on anything electric. So we have a feeling that they're going to license that. But I was just curious, like, while you're in there, hey, there's like a discount on just how would you like 20,000 of these cars? We can do tomorrow.
I always think about and this is kind of surprising with how Honda ended up on the chart here of sales, but I think about, okay, so you've got the Chevy Blazer. It's being rebadged as a Honda Prologue. So it might have a different interior. It's got some different badging. It's got a slightly different look, but really the whole thing is a Chevy Blazer.
Yeah. Or Cadillac Lyriq.
So why would someone go to a Honda dealership and pay more money for a Prologue where they could pay a little bit less at a Chevy dealer for the Blazer? Is it because Honda is on it and they've got no clue that Chevy makes it? Like,
Probably has a better warranty.
that's what I always find weird, is that if Tesla entered into an agreement where ABC Automaker is going to make Model Ys with Tesla's blessing, guess what? Tesla could sell the Model Y still cheaper than the other guy, because he's got to put a little bit of a markup to make it money on it after he bought it from Tesla.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be selling a vehicle that's cheaper, but it's exactly the same as the Model Y. So,
or materially the same, yeah.
are they just hoping that they can hoodwink a number of people that have no idea where the vehicle came from in the first place and will pay the higher premium because the badge they're associating with some sort of value?
Maybe because the ID4 is a Ford Explorer over there.
I don't know so much that I'd say they're hoodwinking them. If you have brand loyalty, a shop that you're used to getting serviced at, and if it got the Honda badge and you know that dealership's going to be able to get those parts through Honda's catalog, even if they're actually a GM behind it. So there's plenty of reasons that you could do that. And Mark, you assumed that the second company has to sell it at a profit. And maybe instead it's a loss leader for them because they're using that for market research or energy credits or whatever else, right? So Tesla doesn't have to make up energy credits. In fact, they sell theirs usually 50% off. But if you're Honda and you're selling Ridgelines and you have to pay so many energy credits for every one of those, and instead you can just sell these cars at break even or even a slight loss, you still come out ahead.
Yeah,
true.
And then what is it, like 30 years ago now, more? My uncle had they had the Honda Passport and the Isuzu Rodeo, same car. And
I used to have a Honda Passport, and I bought the Honda even though it was an Isuzu was an option. Yeah. But I bought it used, first of all, so I didn't pay the initial markup, so it was a great vehicle.
Yeah,
I was rock climbing and skiing, and it had 4-wheel drive, and I loved it.
Yeah, but they did still have the slightly different interiors and options and warranties. So those are differentiators, and I think it would be a good way for them to sell a bunch of cars at face value.
Well, we will see. Of course, these are the link to the article will be below if you'd like to go into the details there. But again, Tesla's dominating when it comes to EVs. How many people had told us that once the other automakers started to make EVs, they would catch up rapidly and surpass it because of their expertise in the ability to mass produce vehicles? Here we are in 2024, at the end of 2024. Yeah. That is still not the case. It's not even close to the case. Mm-hmm. So obviously, those people chirping at the beginning obviously had no clue as to what Tesla would do as time goes along. And I think that's because of their iteration ability. They don't stop. They're not standing still waiting for the competition to catch them. No, they're making better, cheaper, more efficient batteries and cars. And they're coming out with models that are cheaper. They're coming out with the ability to sell them to clients in new and effective ways. And Legacy Auto is still lagging behind.
Maybe they have factories and can assemble a car, but they can't design a car anymore. Because look at Volkswagen, they turned to Rivian to design their car.
Yeah, we heard about that with the early Roadster, the transmission problems, when they said, "Oh, we need a transmission that does that." The only people that were like, "Okay, well, we can give you this or that." We're like, "No, that's not what we need. We have to design one for us." No, we have this catalog, and if you can't pick one out of the catalog, we can't help you.
Yeah. And that brings us back to Japan again, and back to Toyota and Honda. I was listening in on an interview, and they were talking about why the BZ is the way it is instead of something compelling for more people. You're trained to iterate and make it a little better and do this and do that. And all right, you're in the powertrain division. All right, we're going to put this package in here. It's going to be diesel, gas, or propane, not clean slate. They might not be able to do clean slate anymore.
It's a different skill set for sure.
Yeah.
And then look at how long outside of the box. Yeah.
The Ford Skunk Works project has been going on for near on 10 years now, right?
Yep. compared to starting with a set list of parts in the catalog and trying to make something new. So, well, with that, I think we'll wrap the show. Casey's, any shout outs for the end of the show?
Catch us in 2 days if you're watching this live when it comes out for the Tesla Life Live show on Wednesday at 7 p.m. right here. 7 p.m. Eastern right here. Same time, same place.
Very good. Patrick.
As always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org, and I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net, where I write about my future free from fossil fuels.
Got it in. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. Please join us online at the Tesla Life for our X account. And, of course, join us back here on Wednesday for the live show. But we will see you around. And together next time, we will find out what's happening in the Tesla Life.